You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Folks, stunning cases showing police abuse all across the country. We'll start with what took place in Brooklyn. Nicolas Simon, a 17-year-old student who is a DJ, has a medical problem that keeps him from going to school. As a result, his parents homeschool him. Folks, he was recently coming home from the park in Brooklyn when this actually happened. Folks, what the hell was that? Joining us now is Nicolas' attorney, Keith White. Keith, welcome to Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Thanks for having me.
First and foremost, why was Nicolas taken down by 7 cops?
So let me give some additional context. Nicolas is 5'3". He weighs 119 pounds. And so to your point, there's no reason that he was approached by that many police officers to take him down. Not only that, he was never aggressive. He was never refusing. They didn't say anything to him. And so what they did is they essentially ran up on him, pulled up the cars, grabbed him, threw him on the floor, put their knees in his back. He has scars on his back. Put their knees in his head, placed him in handcuffs behind his back. And if you continue looking at the video, they lifted him by those handcuffs. So he's lifted by the handcuffs off the ground and thrown into a police vehicle.
But why was he stopped in the first place? I mean, literally, when you watch the video, he's walking down the street. All of a sudden, a cop car pulls up. They jump out, grab him, throw him to the ground, and then another car comes up, and then they also do the exact same thing. Why was he stopped?
So he was stopped for no reason, to be clear with you. But let me say this. People have been asking me that. People have been sending me messages on social media. Hey, but what was he doing to be stopped? And that's problematic. He was not doing anything. He was walking home from the park. There had not been a previous incident. He was not accused of anything. And so after this incident, after he was detained by these police officers, he was arrested, taken to the precinct. They couldn't find a reason to keep him. So they charged him with disorderly conduct and acting in a manner that was violent.
Okay, wait. Okay, this is what I'm trying to ascertain. Right. So there wasn't some call of a nearby robbery, and there was a suspect who was described wearing a red tracksuit, nothing along those lines. So there was nothing that precipitated, like, what was the actual, so was there any rationale? Was there some nearby call of somebody beating somebody, doing something, anything like that?
There's nothing of record that has been produced to myself or to Nicolas's family that indicates that there was any call like that there was anyone in any imminent danger, that there was some threat to the general public who was wearing a red hoodie and a backpack and dribbling a basketball up the block coming from the park. There's no indication that happened.
And the reason I'm sitting here with this stunned look on my face is because you watch the video, they get out of the car, they don't even ask him any questions. He is immediately taken down to the ground.
Right. And I think that that's one of the problems that we experience in marginalized and underserved communities, right? Is that's allowed to happen because the expectation is that he must have done something wrong. And so that's also the question that I'm getting on social media and all over the place is people are saying, well, he must have done something, or there must have been something going on to allow this. And what I'm saying is that there's no indication. The police have not given a statement. They've been requested, right, to provide a statement as to what's happening here. And no one has an answer, because this is the type of rogue policing that's allowed to go on in marginalized communities.
What's next for Dude? What's next for Nicolas? First of all, when did this incident actually take place?
This incident took place on Wednesday, June 12th, and it happened at 6 p.m. on Rogers Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. And so the next step is that the charges are going to be dismissed. It's there's no way that this case is going to go forward criminally. We're going to get the charges dismissed. That's what I do. And then the next step is to sue.
But again, the charge is disorderly conduct. What the hell was the conduct? Bouncing a basketball?
Right. It's the most straightforward example of police abuse, right? And I think that the reason why it hasn't gotten more uproar is because he survived. But had he actually been seriously hurt, had he God forbid died as a result of this, right, we'd be having a much different conversation. But why do we need to have our young Black boys hashtagged in order for people to care? And that's the point here. So that's why I appreciate you bringing light to the issue, because we have to continue to make noise in order for us to see changes.
Last question for you. What is the state of mind of Nicolas? I mean, first of all, if you're a young Black man, you go through something along these lines, it's traumatic. And so how is he doing mentally and physically?
He's traumatized. I mean, and I'm not exaggerating this. You know, Nick is a DJ. You know, he's a young kid who's very popular in his community for being a DJ, but he's quieted. And he's quieted in a sense that he doesn't necessarily want to talk to people. He doesn't, when he sees the police now driving by, he's like, he gets up in arms. And so he's got some bodily scars that he has to, that have to heal, but he's got some mental scars and some traumas that have to be processed and unpacked, in a whole nother way.
Certainly give our regards to Nicolas and his family. We're going to stay on top of this. Keith, please keep us updated because we certainly do not want this to be ignored. You're absolutely right. Mainstream media, the cable networks, they haven't done anything with this. And had Nicolas been getting killed, sure, all of a sudden it would be a story. Also, I want to thank the people on social media who have been talking about this, who also brought to my attention as well. And that's why we wanted to have you on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Keith White, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just 1 month. All right, folks, they're back. MarijuanaStock.org has another great investment opportunity. If you were lucky enough to invest in their last crowdfunding campaign, they raised a lot of money in just a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. Those initial investors now own shares of a publicly traded company. And, of course, they're excited by that. Now they have a new investment opportunity that is as good, if not better, than the last. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. For those who don't know, the hemp plant is a cousin to marijuana, of course, and then it has a higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all of the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Now, until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the U.S. and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, that changed with the 2018 Farm Bill, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all of the plants, and this makes for an incredible investment opportunity. And that's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. You can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000. All right, folks, all you got to do is go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org if you want to get in the game. And if you do so, do it now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.